Album review. Billy Idol. Dream Into It. It's been well over a decade since Billy Idol last released a full-length studio album. Now a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominee, Idol's career spans nearly 50 years. From fronting Generation X in the late 70s to becoming one of the defining voices and faces of rock music. He gave us the classic hits, Dancing with Myself, Rebel Yell, and the timeless White Wedding. His return with Dream Into It is a very collaborative affair, with input from Avril Lavigne, Joan Jett, Alison Mosshart, and his long-term guitarist and collaborator Steve Stevens. The big question here is, was the very long wait worth it? For a bit of context, I should make it very clear, I do not consider myself a fan of Mr. Idol. Do I know all the lyrics to White Wedding? Absolutely, and it is definitely my go-to choice for karaoke at 2 a.m. when I've drunk far too much alcohol. I am certain I am not alone in this matter. However, this does not make me a fan, and by law, I am therefore not allowed to wear a shirt with Billy Idol's album art on it, obviously. With that in mind, let us get into it. The title track Dream Into It opens the album, but unfortunately, it stumbles out of the gate. Clocking in at just over 5 minutes, it's a mid-tempo, synth-washed number that feels more like a soft warm-up than a rousing return. Thankfully, things pick up immediately with 77, a burst of joyful pop-punk energy that could easily have leaped off one of Avril Lavigne's early records. Her influence is unmistakable here. Bright hooks, a sing-along chorus, and sharp contrasts between Idol's grizzled punk nostalgia and Lavigne's 90s goth girl angst. Too Much Fun is again pop-punk at its best. Again, Idol is in a reflective mood with his lyrics, looking back on time spent taking GHB with GBH, or kissing a girl and smoking H. There is no doubt that this man has lived a life and is, by the sounds of it, probably rather lucky to be alive to tell the tale. Alison Mosshart of The Kills makes her appearance on John Wayne. The song builds with a soft melody, Mosshart and Idol's voices blending beautifully. However, by the end you're facing a wall of sound with Steve Stevens' guitar roaring through the speakers. This is the first time we truly get the gravel-voiced, snarling Idol in full swing. It's very welcome, and makes it very obvious that despite him being very nearly 70 years of age, he's not slowing down. And in fact, on Wild Side, featuring the legendary Joan Jett, is more introspective than expected. Their voices complement each other over a surprisingly restrained arrangement. There's no need for chest beating here. These are two icons with nothing left to prove, choosing subtlety over spectacle. It works. Idol's history is in fact being documented in the film Billy Idol Should Be Dead, due to premiere at the Tribeca Film Festival on 10th June. The film was directed by 3-time Grammy winner Jonas Åkerlund and chronicles the life and career of the punk pioneer turned rock and roll icon. When you take this into consideration, you understand the machinations behind Dream Into It a bit more. It's a remembrance and a celebration of a life lived to its absolute fullest by a man who's toured the world for basically half a century. The introspection throughout the album continues with a trio of deeply personal tracks. People I Love is a heartfelt apology to his family for years spent on the road, missing birthdays and graduations. Jim, The Wait is a straightforward, affecting love song. I'm Your Hero reflects on fatherhood with a vulnerability that catches you off guard. For listeners more familiar with Idol's sneering bravado than his softer side, these songs offer a humanizing glimpse beneath the leather. It's also around this stretch that the album's greatest flaw becomes clear. the production. While the songwriting is often strong, the mix is oddly soft, dampening the energy of the rockers and leaving the ballads feeling feeble. There's a lack of bite, a sense that the edges have been sanded down when they should have been left jagged. Frustratingly, they seem to have figured this out by the time they reach album Closer, Still Dancing. It's right up there with some of his best work. The music powers through with Stephen's guitar, wonderfully accenting Idol's vocals. The chorus is huge and gets you smiling and singing along instantly. It will seamlessly fit into the live set alongside the hits. The song comes to a sudden stop with Idol at his sneering best, making you very aware that he's not finished, and he is in fact still dancing.